100 and what do we got here? Days since October 4th. 197 days of Clippers talk for you guys. Welcome in. It is a postseason edition. We got your pregame show starting in about 20 minutes here. Good to be with you guys. If you missed yesterday's show, you missed Ricky G on, the coach. Also, Carlo Jimenez was on. Of course, he'll be here on the pregame show. Law Murray will be here as well. I am excited. I'm glad we get this game in early. Then we can really dissect it afterwards. I'll probably be with you guys till like fucking 5 o'clock or something. Jeremy Mormon is first. Stratos, Spencer, Josh. Some nervous energy. I'm excited. Renee's in here. Mental Midget's in here. I know you guys are excited.
I love Mental Midget.
Zach O'Caldy, our producer today, said, I love Mental Midget. You know him?
Follow him on Instagram.
You follow him on Instagram?
Yeah, the gram.
Any superstation? What do you mean? We're on the Patriot AM 1150 today. Whenever the Dodgers are on 570, we're on 1150. Terry said, let's go. I'm with you. Pre-game show starting in 20. Mental Midget said, LOL, really? Get in the chat, Zach. Indiana Pacers are rolling. I haven't even... What channel is it on? Zach, you know, just change the channel on there? Okay. We'll definitely watch the FanDuel stream because that'll be less delayed. But I don't know. Bonesaw. I mean, what do the numbers say? Shit. I did have Indiana win that series. But Dame could be back for game 2. Is it on ABC this game?
No, ESPN.
ESPN. Strato said, let's remember, win or lose, adjustments will be made for game 2, so don't get too excited or down with a win or a loss. That's what the playoffs are all about. Never too high, never too low. Chicken Nipples Production is in here. Howdy from Intuit. You got the crowd there for the watch party. Not a good matchup for the Bucks. I think I had Indiana at 6. Got some trail mix going on. David Adelman's killing me. I love this guy. I don't want to, but I'm loving him. He said he was watching season 1 of X-Files with his kids last night. He's referenced the Kings Lakers series from 2002, taking advice from his dad in that series. Like, crazy. Ray's going to be it into a dome. Yeah, it would be nice to punch first in this series, especially because the Denver Nuggets have been through a lot. And if you let doubt creep in, we've had a lot of turnover the last 2 weeks. I wonder if Giannis is going to ask out if they lose. Once Dame is back, it'll be more interesting. Yeah, but it's one more guy for them to pick on the defensive end. I don't think they're going to get swept or anything. Older team versus younger team that loves to run. People going into a dome. What's up, Kaylee? Pregame in 15. We're on the Patriot AM 1150. Let's see. Where are the Dodgers Monday? Dodgers are off Monday, so we'll be on AM 570 for Monday's game at least.
Thursday too.
Dodgers off Thursday?
Yeah.
We'll be on AM 570 for the first playoff game at Into a Dome. The game will be on NBA TV, but who cares? Get to FanDuel TV. Wow. Miles Turner. Alex Webb said, let's set the tone. Kaylee said, I don't know if I'm delusional, but I really think Clippers can win it all this year. Andrew said, go Clips, go. What's the bold take you have for the Clips versus Nuggets series? Well, a lot of Nuggets fans are coming after me for a certain tweet I put out. It's gotten about 100,000 views. I knew this would happen, and that's, I guess, part of the reason I did it. But I do believe there can be a game where Ivica Zubac gets the best of Nikola Jokic. Doesn't mean he's going to put up a triple-double and match him in that area. I'm talking about impact. What if he holds Jokic to, a 10 for 30 type game and Zoo has 22 and 15? That's the type of thing I'm talking about. I said this tweet a couple of days ago. Have I completely lost my mind for thinking Zubac can do more than just maybe hold his own and not get destroyed in the Jokic matchup, but actually get the best of him in a game or two in this series? Maybe I've lost my mind. Inverse Jim Kramer is coming after me. A lot of people are coming after me for this. It's not like he hasn't done it in the regular season before. I know playoffs are a different animal. Jokic is a different animal. He's the best player in the league, all that. I just would not be shocked if Ivica Zubac got him in one game. One game. Zoo's been that good this season. So I guess that would be my bold take. Nuggets fans are all over me for this, as expected. But yeah, it's gotten 107,000 views. A lot of bookmarks. I'm here for the smoke. I believe in Big Zoo. There's no slight against Jokic, but he can have an off game. He can have one. I don't think they've swept every series in the playoff that he's ever played in. Why can't he have a bad game? The numbers all say Ivica Zubac has also been the best defender in the league on him. He's held him to 45% shooting in his career. When he's the closest defender to Jokic, he shoots 45%. I went back and looked at the bubble series. Jokic shot 47.5% against Zoo when he was on the floor. So I know it seems like a lot, but I'm talking about one game. Can he be better than him in one game? Zoo has been averaging like 20 and 13 for a month. Yeah, the Dome Thursday is going to be on. Clifford said, it's because of Zoo beats Joker, their hope is over. I ain't talking about outplaying Joker in the series. I'm talking about one game. I got way too much respect for Jokic. He is the best player in the league. It's facts. Jermaine said, Adam, I honestly don't think this series is going to be close at all based on the traditional team stats and advanced stats, plus the eye tests, plus the level that Kawhi is at presently. Clips in 5. No shade. Maybe. I'm going to get some more trail mix. I'll be right back. Zach, do you think I'm crazy for saying I think Ivica Zubac can get Jokic one game in this series?
No, one game. That's not a lot.
Thank you. Zach doesn't think I'm crazy. Of course, he's got to be in the room with me.
Just for one game.
Johnny said Denver Nuggets, chicken nuggets, dino nuggets don't matter. Clips in 5. Dino nuggets, that's pretty good. Clifford's already saying next season Zoo's shooting threes. I hate the whole, we want to be underdogs. We don't want the expectations. No, F that. If you're going to win a championship, eventually people are going to be picking you. You're going to be the favorites at some point. You have to embrace the expectations. I think the team has. Jeremy Mormon said, who's closer, Zoo to Joker, Gordon to Kawhi? Probably Zoo to Joker. Probably, maybe, only because Zoo is at least better on the defensive end than Joker. There's no contest there. He's the much better defender. Joker ain't up for Defensive Player of the Year. Some people agree with me. Zoo can outplay him in a game. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with Aaron Gordon. Looked like he had a black eye. He didn't say when. He got it. Terry, guess what I'm saying? Show starts in 3. Jackson said it's going to be the best series of the first round. Could be. I think Houston Golden State could be a good series. Knicks Pistons. Y'all got to stop with this stupid. Coach Lou just got a contract extension. Norm's an X factor. He should benefit from the guys guarding him because Their top two defenders in the starting lineup are going after Kawhi and James Harden. All right, guys, starting in 2 minutes.
10 pounds by next month? With Future Health, you can. Get easy access to weight loss meds like Ozempic for $3 a day. Visit futurehealth.com.
Let's go!
To start losing weight.
I should probably get my headphones.
And an associate for back injury. Become a certified wellness coach and build positive life skills. Learn how at cawellnesscoach.org. Supported by the California Department of Healthcare Act.
All right, Jermaine. If it goes the distance, you better be here. I get it, Mikey, but Coach Lue just signed a contract extension, a fat one. If they lose the series because Jokic just continues to prove he's the best player in the world, I don't think that's a reason to fire Coach Lue. All right, guys, here we go.
You up to tip off or like a full sprint Adam Osler.
Welcome into a playoff edition of Clippers Countdown, where for the 19th time in franchise history, the Clippers are in the postseason, and for the third time are in a series against the Denver Nuggets. It's the rubber match where the Clippers are looking to snap back and exact some revenge after the bubble collapsed 5 years ago. But this season, the Clippers are entering the tournament hotter than ever, fully healthy, and having won 18 of their last 21 games, where over that time, they had the best record in the NBA with the best net rating in the league, and no one faced more pressure to win their final regular season game, which was essentially a playoff game to stay out of the play-in.
Jones Jr. pulls it back and throws it down. Turns the corner, stops and spins. Free throw line jumper, rattles in. Oh, Kawhi Leonard. Mid-range maestro. Double team comes with 5, skips it up with 4. The lob for Zoo, catches and slams. Avita Zubac ties us at 111. Finds Harden, sets up, far corner 3. Connects, Clippers lead for the first time in overtime. 114-111. The bearded wonder looking for some more magic in a must-win game to get to the playoffs. 5 to shoot. James top the key with 4. A step back 3. Bottoms. Harden. Back-to-back bonus distance threes. And the Clippers are up 6. Harden, who has been the MVP of the season, will close the regular season with 12 overtime points. And the Clippers catch the current when it counts and sail into the playoffs. They take down Golden State 124-119. And in game 82 in overtime, the Clippers find a way to a date with Denver. They'll be the 5 seed, and they're headed to playoff basketball.
With the entire league watching, the Clippers got maybe their best regular season win ever, considering what was at stake between them and the Golden State Warriors, with the winner securing a playoff spot, and your Clippers got it with that 124-119 victory in OT at Chase Center less than a week ago. So can any of that momentum travel with them now to Denver? Can they cut through the thin air with three-point shots that continue to fall at the high rate we've seen over the last month? Can they continue to limit the turnovers like they have been during this stretch? And can Kawhi continue to prove that he's healthy, fully back, and can be the best player in a 7-game series against anyone, including Nikola Jokic? Here we go. It's game 1 from Denver. Clippers taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off is just 60 minutes away. Coming up here on your pregame show, we'll have La Murray. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers from Ball Arena, Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Denver for game one of this best of 7 first-round series against the Nuggets. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. It's your postseason edition of Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. But first, let's head out to Denver and Ball Arena with your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, my friend, how we doing?
Adam, what's up? I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Big time game for the Clippers taking on the Nuggets. Game one, and the playoffs have arrived. You play 82 games, 5 preseason games for this. Now let's start part 2 of this season for the Clippers.
And to me, it almost feels like the Clippers started the playoffs a little bit early last weekend against the Golden State Warriors on Sunday, getting a win that secured them a playoff spot where they didn't have to fight their way out of the play-in to get into a 7-game series. But that was maybe the best regular season victory in the history of the franchise when you talk about what was on the line there, Carlo, and they performed at a high level.
Unbelievable stuff from this Clipper team, just to be able to stay focused, to take what was a Curry flurry in that fourth quarter out of him. I believe he had 18 points in the fourth. Clippers go down 4 with about 2 minutes to play. They didn't blink in that game. They still were able to come back, tie the game, get a shot to win in regulation, and then James Harden takes them the distance in overtime. This is a group, Adam, that has a ton of playoff experience. From James Harden, from Kawhi Leonard, Ivica Zubac has been in plenty of playoff series. Norman Powell has won a championship with Kawhi in Toronto. Bogdan Bogdanovic has gone on a run in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, Nico Batum was in a deep playoff run last year. You got a lot of experience with this group when it comes to playing in big games, and it showed in that game against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, the Clippers' big three especially showed up. You mentioned Kawhi, James Harden, Ivica Zubac had 22 and 17, 4 offensive rebounds, 11 of 16 shooting from the field, played heavy minutes at 42. This was a guy who back in 2019 was getting played off the floor by the Golden State Warriors, and now he was one of their biggest weapons in a game like that. You hope that bodes well for a series now against the best when he's taking on Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers are going to need Ivica Zubac especially to be at the peak of his powers. They're going to need this entire group to step up. And they've had that level of focus, Adam, but now you do it against the same team time and time again. So how can you continue to elevate that focus? Especially, a 1:30 tip here in local time, 12:30 back at home, a little bit different than what it usually is. But, man, it's just really, really exciting to see if this Clipper team can be able to continue to have what was, Adam, according to the advanced analytics, the best net rating in the NBA, the best team in the NBA, where they went 18-3 over a 21-game stretch.
Yeah, and won their last 8 games heading into this one. It helps that they're healthy, and I think Clipper Nation has a lot more confidence because of that. And Kawhi Leonard is at the top of his game right now, fully healthy, ready to go against Denver.
He has to be. And for Kawhi Leonard, Adam, the Clippers 25-11 in the games he's played this season. He's just been that good for this Clipper team. Has not played Denver, but I was looking it up earlier. In his 104 playoff games since 2014, he's averaging 25 points on 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. Leonard loves to elevate his game, and Adam, he's elevated it here as of late. Kawhi was really the first Clipper to come out and say, these are playoff-type games for us about a month and a half ago. Well, what has he done in the last 15 games? Only averaged 26 points on 56% from the field, 49% from the three-point line. He has looked like another level of Kawhi, and he thrives in these type of environments, Adam. I would expect no less from the Claw. Denver has not seen Kawhi Leonard, and they're not seeing Kawhi Leonard who's coming back from injury. They're seeing peak Kawhi Leonard, who just played, by the way, his regular season career high in minutes on Sunday against the Golden State Warriors. Got a well-deserved week off. Excited to see what Kawhi does in this contest.
Kawhi was at 47 minutes in that one. Maybe a little bit of a tune-up for this playoff series. Going to need heavy minutes from Kawhi, from James Harden, Ivica Zubac, Norman Powell, and the rest of the crew. It's game one from Denver. Clippers taking on the Nuggets. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. And coming up next, he's got his one-on-one conversation with assistant coach B. Shaw right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Denver Nuggets from Denver in game one of this best of 7 first-round series here in the Western Conference. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslin. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers with a playoff edition for you. Still to come, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind to another game one. But first, let's head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez.
Coach Brian Shaw before the Clippers take on the Denver Nuggets. Coach, the team mentioned all week that the focus needs to be on them, on what you guys do. Why is it so important to have that inward focus coming into a playoff series?
Well, I mean, you can only really control what you do. We want to just really be able to execute the things that we've been working on, the things that we feel will be effective against the Nuggets. We also know that they have just gone through a coaching change, and so this new coach may do some different things that the original coach hadn't done that we haven't seen, and so we can't be too worried about that. We just have to concentrate on what we know we do well, our strengths, and just other basic things, just like taking care of the ball and not allowing second shots.
You look at this Nuggets team, obviously they're proficient at an elite level in transition. What do you guys try to emphasize to your group when it comes to getting back on defense? Seems like a simple thing, but how do you strategize it?
Well, I mean, we emphasized it all week, leading into this. Brown is one of the fastest players from end to end in transition. And so we have to be conscious the entire time of when a shot goes up, getting back out of the corners, especially if it's a three-point shot. And if we are crashing, making sure that we're staying on the top side so that they can't release and get back in transition, but also, just live ball turnovers is the thing that really we have to take care of that. We've been doing a good job of that the second half of the season, so we have to continue to do that.
Last one for you, Coach, but this is a Denver team that averages the highest percentage of their points inside the three-point line. The Clippers, obviously, a lot of lengthy, rangy defenders. How much can you guys muck it up inside the three-point line against this Denver group because of your defense and this ability to fly around?
Yeah, I mean, we have to rely on that, our ability to be able to fly around, as you said, but also using our length and our versatility. We switch a lot defensively, but we still have to be pulled in on the weak side. We still have to support one another when in the cases that they do penetrate our defense. But there's lineups that they put out there where we can sag off a little bit more in the paint when Russell's out there in particular, to use his man as a helper. So we just have to be cognizant of that as it's happening. And, we know that Joker's he's gonna get his. He has a high usage rate. We just have to be able to control, like I said, the other guys, not let them get extra opportunities, and just be solid on defense with them.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
Assistant Coach Brian Shaw there pregame with Carlo Jimenez as we're getting set for game one in Denver. Clippers taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off is just about 48 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. It's Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. And coming up next, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Denver for game one of this best of 7 first round series. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we will get to your player to watch. La Murray of The Athletic will be here as well. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind, back to August 17th of 2020, almost 5 years ago, when there was a new Bill and Ted movie. And Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles was number 1 on the Billboard charts. And after the NBA took a hiatus because of COVID, it returned in Orlando in the bubble. And the Clippers were in game 1 of a first-round series against the Dallas Mavericks.
Thank you so much, Adam.
We got it for you here in just 1 second. I don't know Eagles on the call.
George has the ball in his right hand, working on Kleba. Steps it back, behind his back, going out to the left side of the lane, up and under move. Oh, Paul George is a magician inside. He spun it through with the right hand, and 20 points for PG-13. George drives down the middle of the lane, gets to the rim. Oh, what a pretty finish. Finger roll inside for PG-13, 22 points for George, and the Clippers lead 93-91. Leonard crosses over, pump fake over the top of Kleba. Oh, what a tough shot by Kawhi Leonard. He sticks it from 12. 10 to shoot for Kawhi Leonard. Circles around, gets through the defensive Kleba, and somehow muscles it through. Kawhi Leonard with the right hand this time. Back-to-back buckets for the Claw. George has Finney-Smith inching his way to the three-point line. George, step back, left wing three. Oh, dagger from Paul George. Book it for PG-13. His fourth three of the game, 27 points, and the Clippers lead 114-106. Playoff P has arrived.
No playoff P in the NBA this season, but hey, in a game where Luka had 42 and the Clippers still got the 118-110 victory over the Mavs. That was back in 2020 in the bubble. Thanks to 29 from Kawhi, 27 from Paul George, and that big shot late. But the Clippers got that big victory to start off that series and that playoff run. I won't tell you how it ended. Maybe we'll get to one of those games in a rewind coming up if I have the heart to do so. Clippers in Denver, game 1. Outside the bubble from Ball Arena. And we got tip-off just about 41 minutes away. Coming up next, we'll get your player to watch. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
From sports and entertainment, we Denver Nuggets welcome you to Valley. Your safety is a top priority. In the event an evacuation becomes necessary, please follow these guidelines to walk in calmly out and in from the living room to safety. If you are seated courtside in rows 1, 2, or 3, or in rows A, and E of sections 146 to 104, please exit by the nearest floor boundary located in the corners of the arena. Venue personnel will direct you to the closest safest exit. If you are seated in sections 102 through 148, calmly walk up the aisle stairs and out through the portal onto the main level concourse. Turn left or right to the nearest unobstructed stairway. Venue personnel will direct you to the closest exit. Once in the stairway, walk calmly down the stairs to the ground level and out of the room. If you are seated in sections 202 through 260, walk calmly up the aisle stairs and out through the portal onto the club level concourse. Turn left or right to the nearest unobstructed stairway. Venue personnel will direct you to the closest exit. If you are located in suites 1 through 95, please exit the suite onto the concourse. Turn left or right and proceed to the nearest unobstructed stairway. Venue personnel will direct
Clippers and Denver Nuggets from Ball Arena tipping off in game one, and we are just about 38 minutes away from that. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. It's Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Still to come, we'll have La Murray on from Denver, but first.
This is LA Clippers basketball. Watching this guy play right now is really tough. Players to watch.
Throughout the series, and especially in this game, he will be my player to watch. I'm looking at Big Zoo. He's got a big opportunity on his hands, going up against Nikola Jokic, the best player in the game. Can he hold his own? Can he do more than that? He's gotten the best of Jokic a couple times in his career in the regular season. The playoffs, of course, are a different animal. Now, if you go back to 2020, Ivica Zubac's on him in that second-round series in the bubble. He held Jokic to 47.5% from the field. Since then, Jokic has won 3 regular season MVPs and a finals MVP on their way to a championship back in 2023. But overall, in his career, he's held Jokic, when he's the closest defender, to 45% from the floor. Can he make him work for it at least? Can he make life tough on Nikola Jokic, the best player in the game? And can he stay out of foul trouble? Because the Clippers need him for 38-plus minutes every single ball game in this best-of-7 first-round series. Big Zoo, my player to watch here in Game 1. Clippers tipping off against the Denver Nuggets, and we're just about 37 minutes away. Coming up next, your injury report, and then La Murray of The Athletic. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Denver taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off is 32 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we got La Murray joining us from Denver, from Ball Arena. But first, I want to bring you your injury report and bring you good news. Clippers are fully healthy and ready to go. Not one player is on the injury report, not even a player that says he's available today. It's that good for the Clippers right now. Knock on wood, it can stay that way. As for the Denver Nuggets, coming into the series, we heard a lot about Aaron Gordon. Missed a lot of time this season dealing with multiple calf strains, but it's said that he's feeling better, as is Jamal Murray, who's been working through a hamstring injury that did hold him back a little bit in practice from doing everything he wanted to do, but sounds like he's moving well out there. Both teams healthy, ready to go. No excuses. 7-game series starting in game 1 today in Denver. And while we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
This is LA Clippers basketball. AM 1150 KEIB Los Angeles. All about the very an iHeart radio station.
Oh, yeah, Aaron Gordon does have a shiner, but it shouldn't affect him much. Coming up next, we'll have La Murray on from Ball Arena as we get set for game 1 in Denver. Clippers and Nuggets. I'm Adam Osland, and we're 31 minutes away from tip-off right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Denver for game 1 of this best of 7 first-round series. Welcome back in. It's your pregame show, Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. But joining the show right now from Ball Arena is the man, La Murray. I am the law of the Athletic, who put together just a fabulous preview for this series titled Clippers Nuggets Playoff Preview. Can LA find an answer against Nikola Jokic? Law, thanks for joining me all season long and now here in the postseason, my friend.
Also hard arena. Let's get it.
Your microphone's a little bit far away from you, Law. If you could swing it up for me. I got you. Just want to make sure everybody gets that good information.
Yeah.
So can we just start with the title of your article? Did you find anything, any weakness whatsoever when it comes to guarding Nikola Jokic? How do they do it?
Bro, I didn't write that headline. So anybody who's ever worked for a place, worked with editors, yeah, shout out to my editors for that headline because I didn't write that.
All right. Fair enough. How do you think Coach Lue goes about it? Does he mix things up? That's typically what he usually does.
Yeah, you just can't give Nikola the same looks. I think obviously you're going to want if this is Zubats on the floor as much as possible, and Zoo's one of the best centers in the league at defending without fouling, and that's going to be key here. Nikola has upped his game when it comes to drawing fouls, to getting to the free throw line. That's scary. I remember when Nikola Jokic used to be closer to Nikola Vucevic when it came to getting free throws. That dude has no weaknesses. But I think the biggest thing is you understand that Nikola has no weaknesses. Make it hard on him. But the thing that you have to do is you have to cut off his opportunities to get his teammates going. This is a Denver Nuggets team that attempts the fewest threes in the league. You know what they're going to be trying to do. They're trying to cut. They're trying to be in the paint. They're trying to get out in transition. If you put yourself in a position to get beat on by Nikola Jokic outlet passes and Nikola Jokic hook passes, and you're doubling him and you're undisciplined with how you're rotating and axing out, then that's where you're not going to have a chance defensively. And I think the Clippers understand that. So you're going to give them different looks, but this really starts with Ivica Zubac, and then it starts with everybody else being attentive to trying to take advantage of the fact that Nikola is going to try and get his teammates going.
What do you think David Adelman does differently than Mike Malone would do in this series?
He probably doesn't yell as much.
That's it?
That's probably a big thing. Reading the tea leaves over the last 10 days, again, this is the smallest sample size in the 21st century for a playoff coach. You know what I mean? Like, he's only done it 3 games, and now he's had a week to kind of prepare for this big game here. And so I think the big thing with David Adelman is to give pretty much equal opportunity to guys. Like, if guys are playing well, then David is going to play those guys to close games. If, like I said, sat with him before the game, and he was talking about how if you create advantages, keep the advantage. That reminds me of how the Clippers used to talk about Kevin Porter Jr. Create the advantage, but keep it. Don't, decide you got to back out and cross somebody over again. The Nuggets' problem is they'll get open shots and pass them up. He discussed how last year in the playoffs against the Minnesota Timberwolves with the Stifle Tower in the paint, they get advantage and then they dip it out the paint and try Rudy Gobert again. That's not helping you. And so I think the Nuggets are going to be more decisive. I think the Nuggets are going to be more just understanding that if you play well during the course of the game, you're probably going to be expected to finish the game. He's had the discipline to say if guys like Russell Westbrook are playing well, they'll finish it. But if Russ is out of control, then he's not going to be getting extended minutes. We all know how that's going to be in a playoff series. So I think that's the biggest thing with David. I think he's just poised. I don't think he's like Michael Malone is an emotional coach. He's a firebrand. You saw with the officials. You saw with his own team. You saw it in press conferences. And I think that voice, as great as it was, I think it wore on guys, especially when they weren't responding and they were playing terrible basketball. David is going to be steadier than that.
Do the Clippers have an advantage? Does momentum carry over after having 6 days off? Does it matter the victory they just got in OT against the Golden State Warriors, or is it a clean slate now?
Clean slate. That's how I'm looking at it. I've seen the Clippers come to Denver with 4 days off before, and they walk through the game. I've seen the Clippers. The last time I was in Denver before this trip here, the wildfires were going on, but I also saw the Nuggets have to play back-to-back games. They put up a fight against the Celtics and lost on national TV, and they didn't have Nikola Jokic. They didn't have Aaron Gordon, and you can guess who got the Nuggets ready to punch the Clippers in the mouth, and that was Russell Westbrook. Even though the Clippers had a rest advantage, it didn't matter. And so obviously I expect the Clippers to be much more locked in emotionally and mentally than they were in January when the wildfires were going on. The game today matters a whole lot more than the game in December did, and Kawhi Leonard is playing. He didn't play against the Nuggets at all. Kawhi ended the season extremely well, including that game Sunday in Golden State. But I will not hesitate to say that finish is, the Golden State game was huge, but for the most part, the Clippers weren't playing teams on their level or with their level of attention to how much the games mattered. This is completely different. The Clippers weren't beating teams like the Nuggets. They weren't beating teams like the Lakers. They weren't beating teams like the Thunder, the Timberwolves. This is different. So great finish to the season. It's 0-0 right now.
Who guards Norman Powell in the starting lineup for the Denver Nuggets?
That's an interesting one because I just feel like that was an easier question when, Kawhi wasn't here.
Right.
The way I have Denver's matchups going to start, I would expect Jokic on Zoo. That's obvious. Gordon on Kawhi Leonard. Gordon has played Kawhi reasonably well over the years. You're going to want to hide Jamal to save him offensively. That's what Chris Dunn will allow you to do, and that's easy because Chris is going to take Jamal. Christian Brown has taken on James Harden as the point of attack. That leaves Michael Porter Jr. He's got to guard somebody. If you hide Porter on Dunn, then that means Jamal has to guard Norman. And you know what? I think that Jamal has done a good job on Norman after they got beat on, the first couple times. Like Jamal's a pretty good defender when he is locked in. That has not always been the case. But you're going to have to figure out what to do with Michael Porter Jr., and that's going to be tricky to start this series.
How many minutes do you believe Nico Batum gets in this game and moving forward in the series? How valuable is he going to be?
He's going to be valuable if he can hit shots. I don't think Nico did the best job of guarding Nikola in December, particularly. And Nico got in foul trouble as well. And so I think that this is a matchup where, you want to see how it looks, but Nico only has utility in this series if he's hitting the threes and if he can be effective with his playmaking. I'm not looking at Nico as someone that you're extending your minutes to. I think he's a 15 to 20 minute player at best here.
How much of an advantage do you believe the Clippers' second unit has in this series with now Bogey in the fold?
I think that it's a decent advantage, but those guys have to play well. It's not a matter of, we have these guys. Like, Bogey's got to play well. The difference between Bogey not having his offense going and Bogey having his offense going is huge. Like, Bogey has to be really good in this series. Like, I don't think he was very good Sunday in Golden State, right? And you saw how that stressed pretty much the entire Clippers bench. It left certain guys unplayable. Bogey's going to be out there. He's guaranteed minutes. Derek is going to be out there. He's guaranteed minutes. Everyone else is pretty much how effective are you? And so with Denver's bench, we know it's Russ or bust. We know Russ you need to extend Russ's minutes in a series like this because he knows the Clippers and because he knows James in particular. Like, the Nuggets are going to kill the Clippers if James is going to turn the ball over like he did in the losses that they had. So that's big. Russ's energy and activity, he's going to be locked in. You're not going to be worried about, Russ isn't playing hard enough, right? Everyone else on the Denver bench is going to be tricky. DeAndre Jordan probably plays because you just need DeAndre Jordan out there. But he's only going to play when Nikola's not on the floor. Nikola's going to play more than anybody in this series on either team. Peyton Watson's going to be a factor, but obviously Peyton's got to hit threes. And then I'm interested to see who plays between Pickett and Strother. I think Strother played the Clippers pretty well during the season, but Pickett has been playing lately, and I think Pickett is going to get the first crack at things. I don't know who the hell Pickett guards, so that's going to be tricky. It's like, how many guards can you have on the floor against all the options the Clippers have offensively?
How short of a leash do you think Coach Lou has with Chris Dunn if he's struggling from the outside and they're playing off of him? Where does he go right away?
I mean, you have multiple options there. That's the beauty of what the Clippers have. Like, you're going to get the best of Chris. I mean, Chris established himself as a Clipper who this coaching staff was going to lean on here in Denver on a Saturday afternoon, first week of the season. Terrence Mann started. They weren't playing very well. They blew an 18-point lead, but then they were able to put Chris in. And the ironic thing is, Chris missed open threes in that game. He had spin outs, that could have put the game away. And Chris understood that, hey, look, you just got to shoot that shot. Now we're here in April, and it's the same situation. Chris is going to be on the floor. So I don't look at Chris Dunn as a leash player. Chris is an essential part of what the Clippers are doing, especially on the defensive end, but also he helps James out a ton. And so I think this is just one of those situations where if you need offense, if you're down, then yeah, Chris is probably not in the game. But Chris is a big part of what this team is going to do in this series, and I don't look at him as having a quote-unquote leash because he's making or missing shots.
Lastly, Law, walk us through how you got to your conclusion that it's Clippers in 7 in this series.
Look, I think Russ honestly is going to put a battery pack in this arena. I really have a feeling that that's going to be the case. I expect Denver to win this one. I think the Clippers take home court advantage and win at home in Game 3. The Nuggets, with their backs against the wall, I think they win Game 4 and then take that momentum and win Game 5. Clippers go home and force a game 7, and game 7 would be 2 weeks from now here. I think they win it. I don't understand anyone who looks at this series as an easy or short one for the Clippers, really for the Nuggets either, but especially for the Clippers. Like, people forget the Nuggets, they used to own the Clippers, and most of the wins that the Clippers have had under the Nuggets required a huge comeback or holding your breath at the end of the game, or both. You know, when the Nuggets beat the Clippers, they've tended to absolutely annihilate them. And so I think the Clippers are better than any of the Nuggets, any of the teams that the Nuggets have seen. And the Nuggets aren't playing their best basketball. They have a coach who just kind of got this job, you know, even though he's been with the team. The Nuggets are stable, whereas the Clippers are kind of a variable. And I just feel like the Clippers are good enough to do it. They're desperate enough to do it, but it's going to take the entire 7 games to do it.
Actually, I lied. I got one more. How crazy do you think I am for thinking that Ivica Zubac in one game in this series could maybe get the best of Nikola Jokic? In one game.
If he doesn't do it, they don't win the series.
Whoa, whoa! Now we're talking. If Lob Murray is with you, who can be against you? They need Ivica Zubac to outplay him in a game. That's what I just heard. I'm with it. I agree. Is it that crazy? His defensive numbers against Jokic throughout his career have been very solid. I know it's the playoffs. I know it's Jokic, but still.
I don't care about the defense. Nicola's going to destroy the Clippers from a scoring standpoint. I care about Zoo being efficient and effective as a scorer himself. He can't get pushed around. He can't, get dominated by guys who are smaller than him when Nicola's not on him somehow. He can't turn the ball over. There's going to be some strategic doubles, and Nicola's, Nicola has some of the best hands defensively of any center in the league. That's ironic because we don't think Nicola is a great defender, but he has great impact as a defender at times.
He's second in steals.
Exactly. You can't play with the game there. Zoo's got to be good on the offense, and that's where you're going to match Nicola. He's got to be efficient. These other guys need touches. You got to be efficient, and so. Zoo's going to have a game where he gets, more than 10 baskets and doing it efficiently. And he's got to give Nicola a lot to think about. He's got to make him work.
Yeah.
He can't give T. Lue, James Harden, and the rest of these dudes a reason to go away from him and to let Nicola just play free safety, because we all know if it ain't Zoo, nobody's on the offensive glass and nobody else is really in the post like that. When Ben Simmons is in the game, we are waiting for Ben to have a double-digit scoring game. He hasn't done it since his first game with the Clippers. Zoo is this team's best chance for having a consistent interior presence, and if that doesn't happen, he certainly is going to have a big game in this series if the Clippers are going to advance.
He's Lob Murray of The Athletic from Ball Arena in Denver. Follow him at Lob Murray, the NU. Law, expecting to be talking to you throughout this series. Appreciate you as always. Great analysis, my friend. We'll do it again soon.
Hey, shout out to Carlo. He gave me great instructions to get up here. So enjoy the games, everybody.
That feels like a shot at me. My bad. Coming up next, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. Clippers, game 1 in Denver against the Nuggets, and we're tipping off just about 20 minutes from now here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Nuggets in Denver in game 1 of this best-of-7 first-round matchup. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Still to come, we'll get back to Carlo Jimenez from Ball Arena. But first, let's get to that drive around the league for you. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles, so you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. One playoff game is tipped off, and it looks like the Indiana Pacers are going to go up 1-0 on the Milwaukee Bucks as they lead 104-86 with 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Pascal Siakam's got 21 for Indiana. Giannis Antetokounmpo has 36 and 11 boards, but they are down by 18 with 7.5 minutes left. Coming up a little bit later in New York, it's the Pistons taking on the Knicks in the 3-6 matchup in the East. And in the West, a 3-6 matchup starting at Crypto. Lakers hosting the Timberwolves later tonight. Clippers in Denver for game 1. Tip-off is just about 13 minutes away. Coming up next, back to Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Nuggets tipping off just about 12 minutes away now. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up, we'll get to your keys to victory. But first, let's head back over to your radio voice in Carlo Jimenez from Ball Arena. So, Carlo, a lot of transition in a short period of time going on with his Denver Nuggets ball club. What have you heard from David Adelman and just the mindset he has and the differences we could see in this series as opposed to if they still had Mike Malone?
The biggest thing that jumped out to me, Adam, in terms of differences is he was talking about Jalen Pickett and his ability to post up defensively. And Adelman said, you know, it's the first time he's going to play extended minutes here in the playoffs. And I said, what? Can you say it one more time? But it sounds like that will be a big adjustment, Adam. Jalen Pickett's going to get a lot more run here for this Denver Nuggets team. The other thing Adelman spoke to is in the 3 games he has been a head coach, Adam, the Nuggets average around 9 turnovers a game. It's much lower than their regular season average of 14 a contest. And Adelman spoke to the fact that, look, sometimes we just got to shoot the ball. We have had open looks on the offensive end, but guys want to drive back into the paint, get into the mess of things. He wants this group, if you're open, to shoot, and said the biggest key for this team is going to be that weak side confidence. Can they have the guys like the Peyton Watsons, the Russell Westbrooks, the Julian Strouthers hitting threes on the swings from Nikola Jokic? Those are the big things he spoke to, Adam, that really stuck out to me. Their ability to shoot the ball, to hang on to the basketball, and then also that he's going to mix up the lineups a little bit and give Jalen Pickett a run, the second-year man out of Penn State, but went to Siena for 3 years before that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It sounds like he knows the others are the guys that end up beating you in a series. When the superstars are out there, they give you that expected production. But what do the others do, especially from the outside? I think he's well aware that the Clippers are trying to make Nikola Jokic more one-dimensional and trying to make it him versus the Clippers. But David Adelman seems very wise to this, knowing that if I can bring down his usage rating a little bit and get the other guys involved, the role players, that's our key to success. So hopefully the Clippers are able to shut off the water for some of those guys that you mentioned there from distance, because if they get hot, that's when the Clippers are really in trouble, when you have that balance of Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets role players and supporting stars like a Jamal Murray in this series going off. Jamal's been very good so far this season against the Clippers, but this is somebody who's been dealing with a hamstring injury. He had a down start to the year, then he picked things up, then he got banged up again, but this is an all-time playoff riser who lives for big moments. That is somebody the Clippers, of course, have to key in on here, Carlo.
And Adam, Jamal Murray's played a ton of basketball the last 18 months. I mean, a deep playoff run for Denver last year. He plays the Olympics with Team Canada over the summer, and now getting right back to it with Denver once again. He really has played a lot of hoop. And you mentioned his success against this Clipper team. He's kind of turned it on the last month and a half, Adam. Since January 14th, averaging 24 points on 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. Prior to that, it was 5 points less, 19 a game on worse shooting splits. So he has picked it up on the offensive end, but he has not seen this Clipper team with Kawhi Leonard on the defensive end. The Clippers can rotate 3 of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA on Jamal Murray. And a big key in this game is going to be trying to tame Jamal, who was a huge factor for the Nuggets' success back in their finals run in 2023, averaging 30 points on 50, 40, 90 from the field in that series victory. Well, no doubt at some point, Adam, see Kawhi on Jamal should he have a big game. And I think that's going to be key. Can the Clippers put out the fire and stop a flurry from Jamal Murray on the offensive end when they switch Kawhi, Dunn, and Derrick Jones Jr.? The one luxury the Clippers have at the guard spot when it comes to defense, Adam, is they can be a little more physical, knowing they have 3 excellent on-ball defenders in Kawhi, Chris, and Derrick. So you can be a little more physical with Jamal Murray. You can try to push him around, but obviously getting into foul trouble early, like both Chris and Derrick did the last time the Clippers were here, could be very, very troublesome for the Clippers.
All right, Carlo, let's get your player to watch. I'm going with the Pizza Zubats, not just in this game, but throughout this series, of course.
If you get one player a game, one player a game. You cannot pick a player a series and then have also a player a game.
Carlo,
what a game, please.
Like the playoff rules, we got to adjust. It's playoff time.
No.
All right, I'm going with the Pizza Zubats in this one game here in game one. Who's your Clipper to watch?
I like that. I'm going to go Norman Powell, Adam. Norm has been excellent for the Clippers against Denver. 28 points a game on 53% from the field, 48% from 3 against the Denver Nuggets. He does not lack offensive power in this lack of oxygen altitude arena here at Ball Arena. Also, Adam, Norm has been excellent in fourth quarters against Denver. 10 points a game in the fourth quarter. If you watched Clippers talk yesterday with me and Adam, we went over some of this stuff, but Norman Powell, real X factor. He's going to have either Murray or Michael Porter Jr. on him. And if he goes off, David Adelman is probably going to have to change that starting lineup because there's just not enough defense on the floor for Denver. Adelman was asked pregame, Adam. I'd love to get your opinion on this. About his defense, and somebody asked him, well, you think come playoff time, you guys will just turn it up on the defensive end? You have about the same defenders. And he said, I think we're just old. I don't think people like to say that, but he's felt like their effort defensively has been better. They're just a little bit of an older team. And you look up and down this lineup at him. I mean, Murray's 27, Jokic is 30, Gordon's 29, Porter Jr.'s 26. That is young, but it is older in the NBA.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. They've also been banged up, and one of their key guys in Aaron Gordon, we talked about it yesterday as well, has been banged up throughout the season with a calf injury. He's going to be guarding Kawhi Leonard as his primary defender. I still believe they're better than their 21st defensive rating they've had all year long, including over the last 21 games, the last 25% of the season. Just going off the history with this group, because I do think with the Denver Nuggets at times, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts because their chemistry out there. They can elevate one another. And if they do lock in on that defensive end, and if they are playing harder, if it was at all an effort thing and things outside, or inside the locker room, I should say, with Mike Malone going on there, some of that could be remedied by just having a new coach, a new voice, a new message there in the locker room. So we shall see if the numbers hold up in this series on the defensive end with the Denver Nuggets, but I'm with you. If there is an adjustment they have to make, I think it would be Peyton Watson being injected into the starting lineup because Norman Powell's a huge X factor. If he has a lesser defender on him, they have to play through him some. They have to find him early and often. Of course, he had a 22-point fourth quarter against the Denver Nuggets in their first game this season, second game of the year for the Clippers. Clippers in Denver. Taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off is just about 10 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Coming up next, we'll get to your keys to victory. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Come on it now. Clippers in game one in Denver against the Nuggets. Let's get to your keys to victory. Coach Lou brought it up immediately when he knew they drew the Denver Nuggets. The Clippers have to take care of the basketball. They have struggled at times in the turnover department. They have been better, taking it down from 14.9 turnovers per game on the season to just 12.7 per game the last 21 games, the last 25% of the season, where the Clippers are 18-3. You turn it over against the Denver Nuggets, they make you pay each and every time. They lead the league in fast break points at 20 per game. Clippers have to take care of the basketball today in this one throughout the series. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call from Ball Arena. It's game one between your LA Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. And we got tip-off next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.